the Nitro Warriors. The countdown to the quarter mile. Nothing like Nitro in the morning, right?
Morning, noon, and especially at night. Hello, everyone. I'm Big Daddy Don Garlet.
And I'm Kenny Youngblood.
And welcome to the Museum of Drag Racing.
We're here to bring you the very best in drag racing entertainment.
And this episode of Nitro Warriors is called the F.E.D.S. Now, I'm not talking about the FBI. I'm talking about front-engine dragsters.
That's right, Big, and this footage was shot just last year in Fallon, Nevada, where we see modern-day front-engine dragsters. And this is the first time you've seen this kind of car on TV.
Oh, that was an exciting event. I remember it well. John Lundberg and I did trackside announcing there.
Yeah, and you did a little bench racing with Shirley, too, which we'll see, as well as some cars here in the museum. So hold on, we'll be back with the F.E.D.S. right after this break.
So stay tuned. There is nothing in the world like the Nitro experience. It's the only fuel in the world that we burn in an automotive engine that'll do the things that it does. Not gasoline, not alcohol, not nitrous oxide. None of that stuff does what nitromethane does. And that is what's caused it to stay alive all the time. Very expensive. It causes a very loud pop to come out of the exhaust pipe. And this is the raw nitro hitting that hot exhaust valve on overlap. Then it causes these fumes, the smell, and that pop in the engine making so much power causes the ground to literally shake under your feet. There is nothing in the world like the Nitro experience. Well, I see the first pair is just about ready to fire up. So buckle up, friends, and get ready for some real racing. They're getting ready to fire them up.
Up first will be Troy Green in the lane nearest the camera. He is the number 7 qualifier. He's going to face off with Mark Maldy, the number 10 qualifier. Mark now driving for the Berkey Bunch.
That's the sound of 7,000 horsepower. We're at Top Gun Raceway, Fallon, Nevada, for the first of 14 American Drag Racing Association Top Fuel events. And these are classic Top Fuel dragsters ready to proceed down the quarter mile.
Arnold Berkey, real quickly. Different conditions today. How'd you change the car?
I hopped the motor up a little more percent. Back looks great. I got to be back here. Thanks for everything.
These guys are getting after it this morning.
There are 5 cars in this 16-car field, Don, that are genuinely capable of 5-second elapsed times, and I think we may see one before this day is over. Well, it's going to be tough, John. You got to remember, we let the people know we're at 4,000 feet above sea level, and that means no air. So that has slowed these cars down. These would traditionally be 5-second cars at sea level.
Troy Green, good-looking run for Troy Green all the way down, 6:34. 203 miles an hour, actually better than Troy's qualifying attempt.
I'm Mark Maldy from Santa Rosa, California, and I drive the Berkey Bunch Top Fuel Dragster.
Hi, I'm Kirk Coons, Yorba Linda, California, Bad Guys Top Fuel Dragster.
Next up, Rick McGee, captain of the purple team. He's going to take on Kirk Coons in the red car. Kirk, who has driven every kind of vehicle there is.
Now, Don, we've got a pair of relatively short burnouts here, which may mean these guys are having some driveline difficulty. And, of course, one of the things that we used to see in drag racing is 8 or 10 guys running out in front of the car to push it back. Now they use reversers.
Well, the cars finally got so heavy, John, and the tracks got so sticky and the tires so big, you couldn't hardly push one back with 10 guys. So they initiated the reverser rule, and the car comes back under its own power, of which, of course, it has plenty.
Oh, it certainly does. Think about that, folks. Backing up your own 3,500 horsepower vehicle and parking it in the garage, that would be a challenge.
I've had guys fall right on the pavement, had to be taken off by the medics. They were so exhausted, and the nitro fumes. So it was a good deal putting the reversers in them.
He's not going to give up now. Has he got enough to hold off McGee? No. 6:37 for McGee. 210 miles an hour.
Hi, I'm Ken Terry from San Miguel, California, and I drive the Thrash Racing Top Fuel Dragster.
John Kent Terry will be up next on the near side of the track, and on the far side is Roger Lechtenberg.
Hi, my name is Roger Lechtenberg. I'm from Cedar Falls, Iowa, and the car is called the Orange Crate.
Assembled here are some of the most beautiful cars ever built in the history of the sport, and that's what this is about, the sport's history. Front-engine top-fuel dragsters, AA fueled Alders, funny cars from the late 60s and early 70s, reborn for vintage-style drag racing.
Drives all over the racetrack and gets the win, a 6:43 at 164. You can see the chute was out early, but Ken Terry went up in smoke, and Roger Lechtenberg, the alternate, gets into the field and now into the second round.
Big, that Swamp Rat won was at the Bakersfield Fuel and Gas Championship in 88 and 89.
It was not only there in 89, it was there in 59 too.
Big, let's talk about your favorites here in the museum. Let's say, first of all your cars, of all the Swamp Rats, is there one that's special to you?
Yes, there is, Kenny. The most cherished car in the collection is, of course, Swamp Rat 1. It is original. It's been restored, but I mean, it is the original car. It's not a reconditioned or repopped or replica. It is the chassis. Of course, the engine, is different because all the engines were blown up. But it runs, and of course, that's the car that propelled me into the limelight in 1957 with a 176 mile an hour run, first over 170. And I run it a lot. It's very dear to my heart. So of all the cars in the museum, Swamp Rat 1 is head and shoulders above the rest.
Well, it brings back great memories. I can remember the early days, and I'm so thankful that I was in the sport when it was, not that it's not fun now, but it was so much fun when I started. And again, little did we know what this whole thing was going to turn into.
Here we have a living piece of drag racing history, C.J. Pappy Hart, who operated the first commercial drag strip anywhere in the country, the old Santa Ana Raceway down in California. Geez, Pappy, seems like only yesterday, and look where we are now.
I run into people I hadn't seen for years. I've been at it now since 1950. So some of the first guys that run at Santa Ana with me are here today.
When you got involved with Santa Ana, did you ever imagine that drag racing would get to where it is now?
Had no idea anything like this would ever go on. No idea.
I'm Bill Dunlap, Capitola, California, and I drive for Mike Fuller.
Hi, I'm Fred Bach. I drive the Bach & Gould Top Fuel Dragster from Bell, Illinois, Ford powered.
The distance. A lot of people want to know why a quarter of a mile. Well, a quarter of a mile is about 2 city blocks, long city blocks, and that's what we used to run when it was on the street, a couple of blocks. So that's why today we still run a quarter of a mile.
Will get it done, 6:42 at 2:01.
I was hoping that Bill would stay on at that time because there was a good opportunity. The wind is down, the track is good. He might have run a 5-second time, but Bill's probably saving it for the next round. He knows more about his equipment than I do.
Hi, I'm Jack Harris. I'm from Kaysville, Utah. I drive the Nitro Thunder Top Fuel car.
Up next, an interesting pair. Brandon Murray right behind me in the blue car. In the red car on the other side of the racetrack will be Jack Harris. Now, Jack was one of the best guys in qualifying. He made 3 good qualifying runs. Let's see if he can keep that momentum up here today.
Now completing his burnout in the left lane is Jack the Sheriff Harris from Kaysville, Utah. It looks like Brandon Murray has been unable to fire his vehicle. Jack will be making a single pass down the quarter mile. One of the lowest elapsed times of this event at 6.10 seconds, 232.70.
Hi, my name is Lee Jennings Jr. I'm from Salida, California, and I drive the American Trucker Nostalgia Top Fuel Dragster.
Lee Jennings Jr. will be in the near lane. That's the car right behind me. He's carrying the flag for the family after his father crashed in qualifying. And he's going to take on one of the true veterans of the sport, Butch Blair, who's driven everything. A rookie kid in the car, but you got good equipment. I know you're expecting to make some noise today.
Well, Lee's only made 7 runs, and we've got it soft. We just want it to go A to B. If it does, we'll be good.
The driver's still learning, but the team has a lot of experience. 6:38 for the win. Butch Blair, 6:38 at 226 miles an hour. And for the kid, the dream comes to an early end.
Hi, I'm Wally Giavia, and I drive the Cal Palace Shell Top Fuel Dragster. I'm from Klamath Falls, Oregon.
Hi, my name is Rance McDaniel. I'm from Fresno, California. I drive the Champion Speed Shop Top Fuel Dragster.
Turns it red, and Wally Giavia gets a free one.
Hi, I'm Tim Gibson from Newport Beach, California. I drive the Mastercam Top Fuel car from North Hollywood.
Hi, I'm Jim Murphy. I'm out of Santa Rosa, California, and I drive the Osh Nostalgia Top Fuel Dragster.
Nice clean run. No, Murphy breaks 6:38 at 224 miles an hour. 6:38, and Tim Gibson comes from the alternate spot into round two.
But you know what I see here shaping up, John? I see a second round that's going to be out of this world because almost every winner has been in the 6:30s. It'll be some very even racing in round two.
This is drag racing. This is the way I remember it. I started when I was 16 years old, and that was quite a number of years ago, so here I am, and I'm really enjoying this.
I think a lot of the racers are comfortable having you there as well. We saw some incidents in qualifying where you knew exactly that there was a problem or what was going on. The parachute pin last night, for example. I think all of the racers are glad to have you out there keeping an eye on them.
Well, I've been in these cars also for 37 years, so they know what I've done in the cars, and they know I know what I'm looking at as far as what's wrong with the car. So I believe through the years I've gained a little respect from the drivers and the owners, so I don't think there's a problem there, and they understand what I'm doing.
Hi, I'm Butch Blair. I'm from Martinez, California. I run the Blair's Fugao 8 Top Fuel Dragster.
As we get set to go into round two competition, a spectacular matchup is up first. This is Rick McGee right behind me in the purple car. He'll be in the right lane, taking on Butch Blair, the Fugawi gang out of California, in the left lane. In the last round, just 1/100th of a second separated these two. McGee ran 37 to win. Butch Blair ran 6:38. Should be a great race.
Some of the cars we see running here today are actually stripped to the absolute minimum. How did the name Rails evolve?
Well, it was 1949 in Santa Ana, California, the drag. C.J. Hart was running the strip. Dick Kraft showed up with this rail. It was actually a 27T Roadster with no Roadster body on it, just the frame rails. C.J. said, "You can't run that, it's just a rail." Then they made a class, and they've been running them that way ever since, and even today, full-bodied or not, they refer to them as rails. McGee trying to hold Butch off top end. No, Butch Blair, 6:32 at 223 miles an hour to losing 6:42. Butch Blair is starting his march toward top eliminator.
now. The cars have already burned out. It's Troy Green on the right side of the track. Roger Lechtenberg on the left side of the track. Roger got in as an alternate, and he's playing with house money now.
Now, Troy Green looks to me like he's got a real advantage here. 6:37 elapsed time should do well in this round against the 6:48. But you never know in drag racing. I just saw the Vagawi win when I thought for sure the other guy would.
Weaving around a little bit, he has to throw the chute and still wins it. 6:24 at 196 miles an hour. Looked like the chute was out early, but Roger Lechtenberg is going to the semis after getting in as an alternate.
And I couldn't believe it. The chute come out early on the winner, and he still was able to pull it off. It must have been just a hair breaker down at the end.
Up next, your number one qualifier, Bill Dunlap. He's driving the Mike Fuller Top Fuel car, one of the strongest cars that's been here this weekend. He'll be in the left lane, and in the right lane, he'll take on Wally Giavia. Wally, another guy who got in as an alternate, and now is trying to ride Lady Luck in the semi, just like we saw Roger Lechtenberg do.
Well, in drag racing, a whole shot means everything because the driver's reaction time can be as much of a tenth of a second better than the competitor. Well, you can see how that would add up where your car is maybe only separated by a hundredth of a second. Tenth of a second would be a lot. But here's what you need to know. Down at the other end of the course, for every hundredth of a second, it is about 3.5 feet. So a tenth of a second hole shot on the starting line will give you a 30-foot advantage at the finish line.
First had him covered for a ways, but Mike Fuller just drives on by.
I knew when he went through the traps he had a good one. 6:16. See, on the run before he shut off early. You got to drive them all the way, 1,320 feet.
In the right lane, Tim Gibson, Jack the Sheriff Harris from Kaysville, Utah, in a beautiful Nitro Thunder car in the left lane.
We're going to just try and repeat. Eric's got a little bit worse. I'm looking for 6:12, 6:13, something like that.
Tim Gibson shuts it off. Harris on a great run, 6:15.
A 6:15 for Harris and a 6:16 for Dunlap, 1/100th of a second. This is definitely the class of the field.
My dream was always to drive a fuel altered after seeing Pure Hell in San Fernando Valley back in 1964. And I'm living my dream. And ADRA has brought back classes for us guys to come out and have fun.
These are wild automobiles. How do you control one of these things?
Well, I think it's like any car. You have to have a feel. You know, the driver becomes mechanical with the car, and we just react to it. There's no time to think in these, so you just react. The car wants to go left. Your body better be making it go right.
We saw some night qualifying out of these cars, which are tough to drive when the sun's out. When you got to deal with the lights and the shadows, take us through a run at night.
Visibility is very poor in these things, especially when the fire starts coming out of the pipes, and we just kind of looking like down a tunnel of fire, and And every once in a while, if you see some white, you know you're too close to the guardrail. And it's just an adrenaline rush.
Richard Langston's a former IHRA world champion in Top Fuel, and now he's driving fuel altereds here on the ADRA circuit, and probably the wildest fuel altered out here. Richard, tell us a little bit about this car and the design.
Well, thank you. The Top Fuel cars, I got spoiled. It's like a Sunday drive sitting in a Top Fueler. There's no engine in front of you. There's no canopy or anything. So when I got in this thing, it kind of startled me, actually. It's been 15 years since I drove it. And I can see out of it, but you can't see through it. You have to drive by the guardrails through the sides of the blower, and then you got the fire coming out of the pipe, so you've got a little bitty spot on each side of the blower to drive by. So it is a little bit nerve-wracking at night. Daytime, it's not so bad.
That was my next question. At night, how do you drive this car?
You drive by the color. You see the guardrails and maybe you see the center line, and you kind of drive that way. You don't really see anything real bright and sparkly. You just kind of a feel to get down there. And then when the car shakes like it did last night, we had to shut her off. It actually broke the fiberglass body, and we took it to the shop. Well, so it's I have to get used to it again after 15 years.
ADRA Drag Racing is not just an old boys club. Meet Vicki Fanning, the lady who actually drives a nostalgia Nitro funny car in competition out here, and coming out butting heads with the old boys, huh, Vicki?
I tell you, I have a lot of respect for the guys that got in these things 25 years ago. A lot of respect. It's actually, so far, it's been it's a handful. It's probably the biggest handful I've had so far.
Night qualifying. How well can you see out of that thing? It looks like you're in a cave back there.
Well, I don't know if it's a car or not or anything, but I do have a little trouble. I have never really had any trouble at night, but this weekend, I have seen it at night a little bit.
There's nothing like Nitro, is there?
It separates the men from the boys. Big time. Yeah. And I don't have any problem saying it like that.
Well, you can say that and without any tongue in cheek.
No, I can't. I mean, it's like it is the most exciting race car in the world to drive. And I know people that have come up to me and said, this is my first race. I've never seen this before. But I just want to say to you that I'm jealous that you have had this all this time, and I've missed out on this until now. And now I'm a fan for life.
These cars, I love them. And there's one thing that just stands right out. It just hits me right in the face. Here it is. single mag. If there's one thing I hate about a modern top fueler, it's 16 spark plugs.
You know what I hate is all the stuff they got on them. They don't even look like a race motor. And you know, today, all the blankets on them, all the diapers, you don't even see a motor anymore.
Why don't they just put a great big steel thing around the complete car with wheels stuck out on it?
They're not far from it.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
And you know, that's one thing with this deal, with this ADRA and the way this thing is going and the rules they have, this is a wonderful class. They got the right tire, it works, they got the single mag, they got the 671s, they got a single pump, and this class is growing. I'm telling you, it's growing big time.
But there's guys out there that are saying, oh, let us have a little bigger blower. Let us have a little bigger tire. Oh, come on, just 2 mags. Let's make the pump look. Is that right or wrong?
Has it been that way all through racing? But I got to tell you, they want to do that. There's a place for them to race.
That's right.
Semifinals time in Top Fuel. In the left lane right behind me, that's Bill Dunlop driving the Mike Fuller car. He has been awesome. Your #1 qualifier, strong all the way through qualifying and strong on race day. His opponent will be Butch Blair in the F.E.D.S team. Butch came out of #4 qualifying position. He's been running well as also today. The question is, do these guys have anything for Dunlop? He's been strong.
Hey, Mike. Mike? Yeah, we're ready. Okay, you ready? Okay, light them.
You know, John, when they pull those chutes at the end, if you're in a modern top fuel dragster, you are subject to about 7 or 7.5 negative G's. That means your body weighs 7.5 times more than it normally does. This is quite a lick. And if you'll notice that when they're interviewing the drivers when they get out of these cars on television, they're all breathing heavily. These young men that have just been sitting in there for about 4.5 seconds. Well, this is why. It's because it's like having an elephant step right on your chest.
Bill Dunlop in the left lane. Butch Blair in the right. Dunlop has been locked in the low 6s, but Blair has been getting stronger every round. Blair is going to need to pick up here if he wants to go to the first ever final round of the ADRA. They're ready. Good move out of the gate for Blair. Dunlop hazes the tires, and Butch Blair is going to the final. 6:28, 224 miles an hour.
The little wisp of smoke at the 8th mile told the whole story. The race was over. F.E.D.S pulled ahead, and he goes into the final.
Get going, guys.
Butch Blair waits in the final for one of these two. It'll either be Big Red, Harris has been strong all day, or Roger Lechtenberg, who got in as an alternate and is now trying to get to the final. Just saw what happened to Dunlop in this lane. Does that make you nervous? Nope. No, it wasn't a traction problem, so I've got pretty good confidence. Big Red looks like in the driver's seat right now.
Did you ever think that front-engine drag racing would return to the sport with such fervor that it would launch a new sanctioning association?
No, John, absolutely not. This is beyond my wildest dreams. And I think it's great, too, because it makes a lot of people aware of what the races used to look like back in the 60s.
This is a close drag race. Lechtenberg shit out first at 6.08 seconds, 212 miles per hour.
It just goes to show you, never count your ducks before you got them. I would have bet money on Harris, and he lost. We're looking at a dark horse winning this race.
I love nostalgia racing. Nostalgia racing is where it's at. It's the only place you can afford to race heads up without hawking your house and your business.
Oh, this is a lot of fun. We've met a lot of great people. It's a great thing for the fans. They can come through the pits, talk to us. I'll explain everything about the race car they want to know. we just have a great time out here.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. I bring my kids, just a big family atmosphere, everybody's friends.
You know, you just can't compare these cars to modern day drag racing. The energy level, the excitement, the side-by-side racing. You just saw one of the greatest side-by-side races ever was. You couldn't have decided who won that race unless you had electronic timing. It's a totally different world, and a very exciting one, I might add.
Hi, I'm Dale Poley from Silmar, California. I drive the Ground Zero Top Fuel Dragster.
Today, in this type of slingshot, what is the procedure when you come back from the end?
Well, basically, we have, I think probably 2 guys could handle this car with no problem, but we have everybody who helps so much on it. We want to make sure it's maintained good. We have there's 5 guys who chip in and help on it, and it's more like a maintenance thing, but just like yourself in the early 70s or late 60s, early 70s and stuff, when I raced Mickey Thompson's car, I went for a month. And I just went to the racetrack and picked up people to help, and I just worked my tail off to get it ready to run. And then Mike Hamby and I, up until about 82 or 83, we ran that War Eagle car, just he and I. We'd race the race, then we'd qualify at the next race, then we'd take it apart and look at it so it was ready to go through the rounds, and that was all we ever did.
Freshen it for the rounds. That's what I used to freshen the clutch for the rounds. Exactly right.
That's what this particular car here, we do a real similar type of a thing, but we're right. And these last few races, we're trying to find a little bit of a glitch we're having trouble with, and we might take it apart every run, or we might not. The last couple races, we never took it apart.
Well, I'll tell you, this tells me you're having fun, because I didn't come out here to work on a race car. I came out here to race it.
Work on the race car at home.
That's right.
These cars are capable of running in the 5-second zones. They're making 3,000 horsepower. They go from 0 to 100 in 1 second. They pull more G-forces than a fighter jet leaving an aircraft carrier. These cars are incredibly fast and exciting.
Fred Bach had some tense moments in last night's final qualifying session as the Big Ford erupted in flames about 300 feet down track, and that scared me to death. It had to be crazy for you.
It was exciting. The camshaft broke and caused it to explode up in the chambers of the intake manifold, and all hell broke loose. Something like that happens, the main thing you want to do is just get her stopped.
Big, what can you tell us about getting ready for a race, maybe even when you're in the car to get yourself pumped up, or the things you might do to even psych out the other driver?
Well, when I used to race, back in my heyday, I used to do all kinds of things to make sure that the driver knew that I was completely at ease. Just conversation prior to the run. You just make comments that would let them know that you had no problem, your car was fine, everything was fine.
Whether it was or not?
Whether it was or not. You never, ever let on there might be a problem. I remember one time we went to the line with a car in California, and the center main had been broken out of the car. We didn't have a spare. Swingle was driving. I actually had the center main cap in my hand. And I told Swingle, we're just going to go to the line. The car's running. It was against Art Malone. Do everything just right, and let's hope he
Wait, you had the center main. Weren't you afraid this thing was going to blow up?
Right, it would blow up. So I'm holding the center main in my cap, and just as I gave him the signal to go on up to the line, there was no burnouts or anything in those days. I just kind of showed him the center main so he wouldn't forget that I had it. It wasn't in the engine. And so he went up there and he blipped the throttle a couple of times, hoping to rattle Malone, where he would do a jump and maybe get a red light. Well, the start was perfect. There were no red lights, and there they go. And I don't see Swingle lifting, because Malone wasn't easy to psych out. He was tough. Well, Swingle got down there first, and as soon as he went through the traps, the crank come right out of the engine and out on the drag strip. This winner didn't kill him. But I mean, it just goes to show you how intense we were in those days, but that some didn't cycle that easy.
I think it goes to show how crazy Connie Swingle was. That's what it goes to show.
Lee Jennings a little bit stiff and sore after last night's encounter with the guard wall out here at Top Gun Raceway. And Lee, first things first, you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just real sore. Nothing's broken. The brain scan determined I have no brain, but it was fine. No concussion, no broken bones. Just every muscle in my body aches. During the entire ride, once apparently impact took place, the rest of the skidding, rolling, whatever down the track, I was totally unaware of it. As best we can tell, because when I hit the wall, it put the lights out, and I was unconscious when they started pulling me out down there. But best we can tell is the car made a fairly severe move at the rear of the car against my son in that round, who was a little out in front of me, and I corrected for it. And after that, I can't tell you because the lights went out when I hit the guardrail, so I really have no recollection of seeing the guardrail coming or anything, so it had to have happened really quickly.
My best memory, the one that really stands out in my mind, is Cordova, 1957. Of course, I was just a young guy with this car from Florida, and I had my hero. At my shop was a big picture of the Cook and Bedwell car nailed up on the garage wall, and everything they did, I followed it. I read every word about them. And I went up to Cordova in 1957 on a trip that I'd won at the local drag strip, and I faced them in the first round, and I outran them. The Swamp Rat won. And everyone was so upset, the officials, not the spectators. They went crazy because here was this California car was back there in the east. Every other breath of the announcer was the Cook and Bedwell this and the Cook and Bedwell that. And then when it came up for the first round, Don Garlits from Tampa, Florida, and his dragster wasn't even a Swamp Rat yet, outran him. Well, the officials got very upset. They thought there was something funny going on, so they said, in all fairness to the world champion, we'll have to see that again. And so they made me run him again, and I outran him again. And that really was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I remember the two races like it was yesterday, and that is definitely the fondest memory.
Wow, you knocked out their money car.
Yeah.
We see the crew guys wiping the tires after a burnout. What's that all about?
That's to get the little debris and the rocks off of the tires because they're real sticky after making that burnout, and they need all those little things off because that's just like getting a marble under your tire. That has got to be cleaned off, and the crew's job is to do that.
All right, here we go. They're moving in. Radar, Roger Lechtenberg against Butch Blair. Lechtenberg in the right lane. Fagawi with Blair in the left lane. The staging lights come on. We're racing. At 1,200 feet, it's Lechtenberg in the tower lane. And the elapsed time for the fixture is 6.13 seconds. The speed, 270 miles an hour.